here are some underrated action animes that you guys need to watch right now. And I mean right now.
Do it!
Stop what you're doing. Stop jerking off. Go to your computer, turn these animes on, and watch it. You can watch the whole thing through at once. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about 3 action animes that I think that are severely underrated. Maybe they might have been popular when the time they released, but as of the new anime community and so many new people in the scene, these animes are not talked about enough. And the first show that I'm talking about is called Claymore. Alright, so the basic premise of the show is that there's these shape-shifting demons called Yoma that feeds on humans. And one of these things showed up in the main character's village. His name is Rocky. But then you see this badass looking woman, blonde haired, silvered eyes, walking into town, rocking nothing but a massive sword on her back. Basically, she is called a Claymore. A half-human, half-Yoma hybrid that is specifically created to kill the monsters. And when the Yoma basically destroyed Rocky's whole village and his family, the Claymore Claire was the one to save his life. But then somehow Rocky ends up getting kicked out of the village. He has no other option but to travel with Claire, our main Claymore. And thus the story begins of these 2 beloved characters traveling from town to town, taking out Yoma along the way. And as time goes on, obviously we start learning more about Claire, about what Claymores are, about the organization that she originated from, and that she has some serious beef with a particular Yoma. Honestly, such a cool mix of action, mystery, supernatural, and just overall dark vibes. I mean, plus bro, all the Claymores are baddies. Oh my gosh, especially Teresa and Galatea. Oh my gosh, I would literally give up my left pinky just to get a whiff of that ass. But in all seriousness, if you enjoy watching an older style anime, because guys, let me remind you, this came out in 2007, so it does have that old animation feel, but low-key, a show that came out in 2007, the quality is peak. But honestly, I so recommend, if you love just watching hot blonde chicks, I do, fighting off monsters, yeah, this gonna be the show for you. So this next show is, I think, the premier definition of underrated out of the 3. If you guys know, it was produced by Bones, okay? We all know Studio Bones is probably one of the best studios out right now. I already glazed Studio Bones. If you want to check out my last video where I legit did a tournament style on anime studios, basically ranking which one's the best. That link is going to be in the description. Make sure to check that shit out. Might be some hot takes in there. And the show is called Blast on Tempest. So basically this show hits you with a lot of different genres, right? It's magic, action, mystery, romance, and it's very Shakespeare-y vibes. I'm pretty sure this show is based on some of Shakespeare's books, if I'm not mistaken, and you can really tell when you're watching the show. So we follow this main character, Yoshino Takigawa, and he's your average high school boy who has been secretly dating Aika, who happens to be the younger sister of his best friend, Mahito. And yeah, Aika ended up dying. And it's kind of mysterious in the beginning. We really don't know what exactly happened, but throughout the show, you know, we start getting hints, and you know, the main character's best friend Mahito, he is basically seeking out revenge, and he ends up disappearing. So our main guy hasn't seen Mahito in ages, right? After a month, we fast forward, Yoshino is just trying to live his normal life, you know, even after what happened, he's still trying to be normal. But some strange ass girl pulls a gun on him. Oh, a baddie one at that. God damn, she could pull that shit on me any day. And then cue Mahito's dramatic return. His best friend is back, y'all. He ends up saving him. Turns out Mahito is now working with a witch named Hakaze, who's basically stranded on some deserted island because of some beef that she had with her own family members. And he has some wild plans, which involves like this tree of Exodus that can destroy the world, basically. And Hakaze ain't fucking with that shit. But now it's basically up to the 2 best friends, Yoshino and Mahito, to basically figure out this mess and save the world. And one thing that I actually really like about Blast on Tempest is the accurate anime adaptation that it has. It's literally 1-to-1. From what I've seen in the anime community for Blast on Tempest, I'm not a manga reader myself, but from what people have said, this is a very great adaptation. And obviously I really like the main character's dynamic between the 2 best friends. I mean, it's basically like a buddy cop series, right? You follow these 2 best friends throughout the whole journey, but basically the whole gist of the show, right? Blast on Tempest dives deep into themes like revenge, love, fate, right? While also delivering some crazy ass twists along the way. Okay, with this last anime, I'm actually really excited to talk about this one because this is such a classic to me, right? Like, I really do believe, and I will stand on business, that this anime is underrated because it should have been treated as a bigger thing, like something how we would glaze JJK and Demon Slayer nowadays. This show should have got that treatment. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about yet, the anime is called Chivalry of a Failed Knight. So basically, here is the basic premise of this show. So certain humans in this series have these special abilities, right? And they're called blazers. That's the name. And basically, these blazers have their own specific special powers. So example, you have some blazers that are specializes in ice, right? They're ice users. Some are like electric user, fire user. You get the gist, right? But it's not just elements. There's also all these other different powers they could have. And they train at this elite school called Hagun Academy to become basically mage knights. They're like the top, okay? That's like what you want to be. Sounds lit, right? Except our main character, Ikki, he is considered the absolute worst. He's literally F ranked. Each of the students are ranked. So you start from A, B, C, and then all the way to F. And Ikki is literally the F ranked blazer. He is the lowest of the low, and legit no one wants anything to do with him, which is pretty sad. I mean, I can relate. But then things get pretty insane because in the first episode, our boy Ikki accidentally walks into Stella, the main female lead's room while she's naked. Yeah, like, yo, the baddie, these shows got baddies, all right? Stella, damn, okay? But anyways, he walks in, right? And, you know, Stella's literally an A-ranked blazer. She is the top, and she's a princess, okay? But the funniest thing is that because they're actually roommates, so they just didn't know it at the time, so that's why the whole commotion happened. Stella didn't know that, so she got pissed, and she challenged Ikki to a duel. And the duel had some wild stakes where the loser of that duel has to be the winner's slave. Yeah, it's wild. And of course, everyone's thinking, right, there's no way this A-ranked blazer, a princess too, right? She's like best fire user out there, can lose to Ikki, who has no power, no nothing. There's no way she can lose, right? I'm not gonna answer that, so you gotta watch the show, okay? I'm not gonna spoil that shit here. But from there, Ikki's basically on a mission to prove everyone wrong who wrote him off. And along the way, like, this man gained new allies and learned some life lessons, build relationships, right? Especially with the main girl. And he basically learns that hard work and determination can really put you far, even if the odds are stacked against him. And let me tell you, they're always stacked against him, okay? But if you're really into the underdog story, if you're really into the main MC being the bottom, being the worst, and having to build his way up throughout the series, this anime is such a banger. Like, I genuinely can't stress this enough that I want to recommend this anime. I wanted to talk about this show for so long, but there wasn't really a good way of speaking about it. But honestly, I'm so glad I made this video just so I could talk about Chivalry of a Failed Knight. This anime is so fucking fire. It sucks though, there is no season 2. It's literally just one season, 12 episodes. That's the one downside about this. Like, once you watch it, you want more, but it just cuts off, right? But obviously you can follow the source material if you want to finish that. It's honestly also confusing why the series hasn't popped off to greater heights, right? But honestly, if it came out today, it for sure would have thrived. I mean, Dandadan, series like Dandadan is popping off right now. I genuinely believe that Chivalry of a Failed Knight would have been in that same category. Especially with today's animation too. I mean, I'm not saying the animation is shit, because the animation's actually fucking fire for 2015, right? But I'm just saying, you know, obviously with the better animators or the more animators, obviously the anime industry is making more money probably compared to the 2015s. So if you don't agree, let me know, man. I mean, I genuinely think it would be one of the best shows out right now. 2015 Chivalry of a Failed Knight has better animation than Blue Lock. I'm just saying, Blue Lock, take notes. I'm sorry, you guys probably didn't think Blue Lock would catch a stray in this action anime video, but yeah, those are my 3 underrated action animes. I'm honestly really happy that I was able to share those. I really do recommend watching all 3 if you have the time. Also, if you do have any other underrated action animes that legit you don't see anyone talking about on YouTube, comment down below, man. Like, I also want to know. I also want to watch, like, if there's any shows or animes I have missed as well. And also, you know, if you guys comment, maybe it'll be the next video. Maybe there will be a part 2 to this, you know? I also do have other animes, underrated ones in different genres that I am going to post as well. So there will be one of romance. I think the next one could be the psychological, underrated psychological animes. You know, we all do love those mind fucks, right? But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications, please, so you could be notified whenever I upload. Please do.
Love of God! For the love of God!
Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.